Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest. I hope you guys had a phenomenal Christmas and are going to have an even more phenomenal New Year's. So, what we're going to be talking about today is understanding that the human experience is a keyed down experience from the ultimate reality. So, when you think of ultimate reality, you leave your body, you go back into your soul form, you're able to do pretty much anything you want to do, right? So when we come here, we're playing a game that has constraints, much in the same way to where if you were to play an RPG role-playing game, right? You make your character, you come in, you fucking suck, you have all these limitations, and then you're able to upgrade your character through learning and accessing information, gaining skill sets, etc. So within the subdimension of gaining skill sets, there are character attributes with which you can modify the game, right? So a good example of this is being able to program your character through subconscious programming, right? Being able to play loops of affirmations in your head, and basically imprint the subconscious mind, which gets that larger part of your beingness to basically coordinate reality through your commands, right? When you take it to a more tactile approach, you have abilities that are unlockable in your purview that include reality manipulation. And what that really means is understanding that every single thing around you is built through a bandwidth of frequency that is consciousness. So if I have this watch, right? This watch is a physical third dimensional representation of a metaphysical fourth dimensional conscious state, right? A state can be everything from a atmospheric cloud of moods to a chronic attitude to just a etheric ball of energy, right? Versus a more nuanced state, which is more detailed and precise, which would be something like a watch, right? So if somebody's in the state of madness, right? That's a macro state. There's a huge energy about them of crazy shit going on. Versus if you adopt the state of having your watch on, there's a very finite parameter of that state, which is just simply a physical or etheric representation of having that watch on your wrist, right? So when you want to manipulate reality through the use of states, what you're doing is you're occupying different states. So if you have dimensional space broken into three different wavelengths, you have your I amness, which you could call a fifth dimensional reality. Then you have your fourth dimensional reality, which is your mind space, right? So it's like kind of like extrapolated through reality. You have your observer, you have your mind, and then you have your physical reality. When you have the different aspects of reality broken apart, these are described in the Bible through the story of Esau, Jacob, and Isaac, right? Isaac is your fifth dimensional I amness. Jacob is your fourth dimensional reality. Your third dimensional tactile sensible reality is Esau. What happens? Esau comes to Isaac, your fifth dimension. Your third dimensional reality comes to you and says, this is how reality is. Isaac goes, nope, reality is like this. And you look at your fourth dimensional reality and give that the birthright, meaning that you deny your physical senses and you give your power to your imaginative act, right? That is understanding the time collapse and the dimensional spaces within which you can modulate and manipulate reality. Majority of people essentially exclusively work on the third dimensional plane of existence, meaning that you're doing physical things to get physical results. But if you extrapolate that dimensional space out, the physical is the last echelon of the non-physical realms, meaning that your I amness thinks, thoughts, engages in emotional aspects, and it gets reflected in the third dimensional reality. So when you work at the third dimensional reality, you're working at the least point of leverage to conduct and create reality in a cohesive way that is in alignment with it, whatever your dream vision is. So when you look to manipulate reality, what you're really focusing on is where your awareness is, that Isaac, that fifth dimensional awareness is focused within the space of a fourth dimensional reality, knowing that that is a precursor to a third dimensional constructed reality, right? So if I want a watch on, right? Say I lose this watch and I don't know where it is, right? I can go and operate in a third dimensional reality and tear my fucking house apart and start looking for it and doing all these different things, calling people, I don't know where my fucking watch is. Or I can do what's called a mental assumption. A mental assumption is something that is not proven in third dimensional reality. There's no validation that you're going to have from third dimensional reality, but an assumption held long enough hardens into a fact. So a good example of that would be if I lost this watch and I don't know where this watch is, I can go from my fifth dimensional awareness and go, wait, I'm aware that my watch isn't here. Okay, so that's baseline awareness. Where's my awareness at? Okay, so what do I want? I want my watch. Okay, so if I'm aware that my watch is gone, my fourth dimensional reality is focused on a mindscape of an absent watch. What happens in my third dimensional reality? I can't find my fucking watch. So now I want to find my watch. Really want to know what time it is. So I go back to my I amness, my fifth dimensional reality, and I go, okay, well, let's focus on a reality where I have my watch. Boom, clocked. Fourth dimensional reality, imaginative act. Okay, let's imagine through a feeling state, a visualization, or an affirmation that I already have my watch. These are all fourth dimensional mindscape activities. Christ consciousness in the Bible is your wonderful human imagination. So when you follow Christ, it means instead of looking at the outside world and just accepting that and allowing that to impregnate your subconscious with what is true, you take the mental stance that you create reality through your imagination, and you imagine and hold a fixed assumption that your watch is already on your hand. Now, if you look in your third dimensional reality, the watch isn't there. Oh shit, it's not working. We're fucked. No. What you do is you hold a feeling state as if it were there. Now you go, Jacob, this sounds crazy. How can I hold a feeling state and assume something's not there if it's not actually there? Well, because feeling states incarnate into a third dimensional reality. Every single thing that has been created was first thought of. This lamp right here was in somebody's brain for probably months. And they're like, man, this is a good idea for a red lamp. I bet we can sell a shit ton of red lamps. And then boom, the universe coordinated it because that thought process had been held dominantly and that state had been occupied by a consciousness so that it had the energy and intention to incarnate. So once you start holding that feeling state of a watch, what'll happen is your outer sensory perception will deny that that's a reality. You'll have feelings of, oh my God, I'm never going to find it. You're going to have thoughts of, this is stupid, this isn't going to work. I can't just hold an imaginative act and expect that to work. Oh my God, what's the statistical likelihood of me finding my watch? I haven't found it in months, right? All of this shit attacks you. So you have to have what's called faith. Faith is loyalty to an unseen reality. That means that if I make a mental assumption, this is the second skill set of your mind. Your first skill set is the rock, Peter, right? That is only hearing what is in alignment to your dream objective. The second is Andrew, which is defined by courage, which means that if I make a mental assumption, I will fucking die before I allow the third dimensional reality to tell me that that is not reality. I have my motherfucking watch on. I am in Barbados because the laws of the universe are as such. I am aware of being the only law, one God. There are no other causes other than I am what I am aware of being. So if I am aware that in my fourth dimensional reality, I have my watch, the third dimensional reality is constructing, conforming, molding, and manipulating itself to match that etheric blueprint of me having that watch. Now, the second I believe that it's not happening, what have I done? I've clocked that fifth dimensional awareness back into a wavelength where my fourth dimensional reality is focused on it not being there. So what is reality doing? Oh shit, it's not there. Now it starts to mold back. So when you have an assumption, you hold it fixed and you do not think and you do not speak and you do not, to the extent of your discipline skill set, work against yourself. Because once you have that second aspect of your mind to where once you make a mental assumption, you begin to see that as the real reality, now you have unlocked dormant aspects of yourself that intuitively know how to create reality, because all reality is created this way. But because this place is backwards in many ways, we've been trained to shut that part of ourself off to where we go, oh, well, tried it for a little bit and it's not here. Boom, you just created that reality. Now you're buying into that reality. So when you want to manipulate reality, it's shifting your I am awareness. It's programming that fourth dimensional reality. And it's incessantly repeating imaginative acts that imply the fulfillment of what you want in fourth dimension. Because how can you master your external world if you don't have mastery over your internal world, right? And this is not an overnight process, and you should never judge yourself, and you should never beat yourself up over any of this, because it takes time to discipline these things, right? Could you imagine going into the gym and like doing a couple push-ups and be like, I'm not ever gonna be fit? No, you need to just, it's good. You did that. You did push-ups. You're fucking crying. You're already winning, right? So every time you make a mental adjustment, every time you fix that assumption, every time you make a bold, daring assumption that what has been plaguing you for a long time is yours now. You have it because you are all there is, and everything within your electromagnetic field is under your control and command, and you hold that assumption and you hold it long enough for it to physicalize in third dimensional reality, and you just start stacking those wins with little things like watches or money or a car. You start to build this Rolodex of like, holy shit, every time I stick through with this assumption, it physicalizes into what I want. You are now the master of your own reality, and nobody can touch you. Meaning that if you don't like something and you make a fixed mental assumption, there is no power in the world that can deny your soul the ability to experience that. So, happy empowerment, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. If you want coaching, click the link tree. Additionally, leave a comment if you want other videos made. But the most important thing that I have to say today, above anything else, is go conquer, and I'll see you in the next one.